This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan. With your host, Bradley Summers. And get the latest from Alpena Community College with ACC President Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning, welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Bradley Summers, and today I have two wonderful guests. My first guest is Justin Christensen Cooper with Art in the Loft. Hey, how you doing?
Here we go.
Here we go.
I like this couch. This is great.
Well, thank you for being here, as always. I know with Art in the Loft has always a lot of really awesome, fun, engaging activities going on for, people in our community. Talk a little bit about the Young Artists exhibit that you have currently going on.
Yeah, you got it. So the Young Artists right now officially opened up the first week of April 6th. We had a kickoff reception. We did a little tally, and I think we had about 300 people there, which was great.
Wow.
So our Young Artists exhibit, just for anybody that doesn't know, it's currently open through May 6th. We usually kick it off right in the beginning, but then we have Saturday classes throughout it, and it's free to come visit, just like all of our exhibits. But the unique thing about this, just not Alpena schools or people that just submit work. We're really getting a true sort of culmination of all the local schools to this. So we have over 19 schools all participating in Young Artist exhibit, and that yields about 600, I think we actually counted 603 pieces in the show, artworks in the show, all the way from pre-kindergarten through 12th grade. And that is Alcona, Skoda, Onaway, all the Alpena schools, parochial schools. We have homeschool groups represented. Roger City's in it. I mean, so it's a lot of coordination, but to have all of that on exhibit during one time is pretty incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's expanded from what you've done in the past then.
It has. Well, you know what it is? It's really back to kind of what it was pre-COVID. What we did during some weird hours and that kind of thing with COVID was we sort of did it online, and then we did like a hybrid, half on an exhibit, half online, and then this year we got the full kind of collaboration with all those teachers, and it really gave a lot of time for those teachers to get the work from their students too, because some of this is spanning from end of last school year into this new school year, so they have a lot of artwork, and we typically say, limit your pieces to about 30 per class, and then they email me and they're like, hey, can I go over that? And I'm like, yes, you can go over that. So that's why I got 603 pieces in the show. Every square inch of wall is pretty much taken up right there. So, yeah.
And how awesome is that for young kids to be able to go and see their artwork that's being displayed out there?
Exactly. What we say is it's typically the teacher will send the artwork home in a Friday folder or whatever it might be, and the parents go, oh, we love it, and put it on the refrigerator. Well, this is take that times 100. And so, because we have kids showing up at the reception night, or even on the weekends, they come in, they're got a little suit and tie on, and they got a really nice dress on, they pose next to their artwork, and they're so proud of that, and so we just really love that idea of them getting confidence and being proud of something they're doing, but that's done through the arts, and that's just so cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
wow,
fun.
603 pieces.
603, yeah. We've got sculpture, photography, mixed media. We've got lots of painting, drawing, collage work. It's just, and really it's a testament to those teachers. I used to be a teacher out in Denver public schools for 8 years before my wife Mary and I moved back and expanded our family here. And so I kind of know what that inner working is like, for how hard those art teachers just truly work in their classrooms and try to get the best out of their students. And then for us to work with them and really get excited about it too, they get to showcase their students in a whole new way.
Wow.
It's really great.
And you mentioned there's weekend opportunities as well?
Yeah, yep. So we have workshops. By the time this airs, we'll just have one weekend left. It'll be April 29th. But we have 4 consecutive classes during that time. And then really come on the weekends and you can see the whole gallery, and there's some hands-on things that you can do and some sensory things that you can do, and a photo section that you can take pictures with, and it's just a really immersive sort of collaborative effort towards this exhibit, and it really is Northeast Michigan, not just Alpena. It's a great representation of the whole region.
Yeah, it's really cool that it's branched out to Roger City and all the local communities.
And they drive the artwork
too.
down, and then the teachers show up at the receptions, and they come on the weekends, and it's great.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So I know one of the other programs that you have too is your REACH program.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Want to give a little update on that?
Would love to. So we just wrapped up, in case people don't know, REACH is Recognize Everyone's Abilities and Creative Hearts. It started about 5 years ago when we first got our kitchen up and running. And we wanted to bring some programming back with the schools and partner with them. And so what it is it's culinary arts paired with life skills, paired with sort of their curriculum in the classroom, but for students with special needs. And so that started with Lincoln Elementary, branched out to Thunder Bay Junior High, branched out to Alpena High School, and now we've got Pied Piper that is going to start this upcoming week, and they're going to come for 8 consecutive weeks. And then the newest part to that too, that just wrapped up this past spring, was ACES Academy. And so the great thing about ACES is you won't necessarily have that student that maybe is dealing with special needs or might have a physical impairment or a cognitive impairment, but they're still a youth at risk. And they're in ACES for a reason because they want to get to their diploma, and that's the goal. So that section of REACH helps them do that. So if they complete the 8 weeks of the REACH program, our Art in the Loft, they walk away not only with their ServSafe certification, which makes them employable. If they walk into any restaurant or any food service with that certificate, I think they automatically get bumped up. Even local chefs have said that and have been hired by Blue Moon Cafe or over at Fresh Palette, that kind of thing, using that on their resume, this program. And then they also earn a credit towards graduation.
Wow.
Which is great. And so we've seen some students actually use that. The day of graduation, they count the REACH credit, and there they are walking that next day. So it's really such a great way to expand and, again, use the arts to get to your goals. Use the arts to get that high school diploma. Use the arts to build that self-confidence and to have some self-worth in yourself as well. So.
I'm always amazed at the way that you and your team at the Art in the Loft are able to collaborate and partner with a lot of different organizations.
Sure.
And this REACH program seems like a perfect example of that.
Yeah, it really is. It's well, especially with the schools, but not only just saying, hey, we'd love to have you at this time, but the schools saying, you know what, this is an even greater opportunity to have our students buy in, and then you get the credit for the graduation. And then you the Pied Piper group that's starting very soon. They'll take those recipes and want to make a meal at home for their parents, and you're like, that's the goal. That's the goal for them. Or you might even have a student where their goal is just to try a new food. And if they do that in REACH, then they've won, so it's cool.
Like a croissant.
Yeah, exactly.
I've known from just past experiences having some of the kids from the Boys and Girls Club there.
Yeah, it's exactly
doing
right.
some of these programs and coming back, and I tried a croissant for the first time, or something cool that they baked, they saw, and then they got to, savor the flavor of whatever they were eating.
That's a great point. I mean, it is just something new and different, and it kind of expands out their education. So.
Well, we're almost to the end of our segment.
Sure.
Any other updates that you'd like to tell the community?
Yeah, just to keep updated for our monthly classes. We are just putting out our spring lineup right now for our workshops, and those are our workshops for anybody in the general public, usually ages 5 to 105. So go to artintheloft.org to see our April offerings, and we'll be getting our May ones out there very soon.
Awesome. Well, Justin, my friend,
thank you. Good to see you.
All right. Great seeing you, and thank you again for being on the show.
Appreciate it.
Stay tuned after the break for Jessica Luther with the Alpena County Library. Welcome back, everyone. Our next guest is Jessica Luther from the Alpena County Library. Hi, Jessica.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. Weather's getting beautiful out there.
It is. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you can see there's a lot more smiles on everybody's faces, and
the vitamin D levels skyrocketed this past week. Yes.
Which is so wonderful because we've had such a long winter.
So gray and gross.
Nice to see the flowers and the trees are going to start, and I hear some bad weather may be coming, but I'm an optimist. I'm not thinking.
No, I'm in denial about that one.
I know at the library, like with most nonprofits and most organizations that come onto the show, you have a lot going on.
We do.
And you have some really cool, fun events that are coming up. The David Sedaris.
Yes. So this is, we had to cancel originally because of the pandemic in 2020. And we were fortunate that his agency reached back out to us and said, hey, do you want to try this again? And I immediately jumped on that because who's going to say no? Yeah. But we are so excited. I am a longtime fan of his. I mean, I've been listening to him on This American Life for probably 20 years at this point. So we are super excited that he's, chosen to drive up here from Detroit after his show there and come here to Alpena in our little Alpena High School auditorium. And I think for us, it's really also cool to be able to present something like this at a price point that is so affordable for people. I was looking at the tickets for the Fisher Theater in Detroit, and those are, upwards of $75 to $200. And here, you know, it's $25, $15
yeah.
because, you know, we want to be able to do these things for our community and give them the experiences that they wouldn't otherwise get, and, you know, and not have to drive 4 hours to Detroit or 2.5 hours to Traverse City or anything like that. So it's just such, I think it's one of the most favorite things I do at my job is, you know, finding these opportunities for the community that, you know, they can go home and be like, oh my God, I saw David Sedaris in Alpena. And we're at about 600 tickets out right now. Wow. So we are, you know, we have about, I think we're gonna get close to sold out. And I've heard delightful things about him. When he does his signings, he takes tons of time with everybody who comes up to get their book signed. So we're super thrilled.
Well, for some of the people that are out there that may not be familiar with David Sedaris, tell us a little bit about why this is such a big deal for our community.
Yeah, so he is a very prolific writer, humorist, essayist. He's appeared on This American Life, PBS. He also has a theater production company with his sister Amy Sedaris, who is also a comedian and is absolutely hysterical. But his essays are they run the gamut of super serious viewpoints on life and, you know, experiences and dealing with substance abuse, to just absolutely preposterous stories about buying giant shorts in a shop in Tokyo with his partner. And he just makes you laugh, but he makes you think about things, and he's just so down to earth and genuine. And I think having someone of this caliber here is just fantastic. I know in the past we've had amazing presenters, and being able to continue that tradition is very exciting for us.
Well, and what I think, you know, the people in the community will really appreciate too is, like you said, the way he uses his humor to, you know, and elements of humor to even talk about like the very important issues and serious issues that we're talking about in the world around us today. And I think a lot of people are going to be able to walk away from this with so many wonderful, you know, viewpoints and different ways to look at things. And sometimes, you know, here in northeastern Michigan or northern Michigan, like you said, we don't have, you know, some of the amenities maybe that Detroit or some of the places downstate have. And to be able to bring someone here that has and shares that viewpoint and be able to bring that to the community here in Alpena is just extraordinary.
Yes.
And you've done a great job bringing someone very cool here.
Thank you. Very excited.
You know, some of the other things, you know, that something else that you had also talked about was a traveling exhibit that's coming.
Yes, so in May, we are going to be hosting a Smithsonian exhibit called Spark Places of Innovation. And we are the first organization in the country to host this exhibit. Wow. So the Smithsonian is coming up here with members of the Michigan Humanities Council to help us install the exhibit, but then also the other locations within the state are traveling to Alpena to learn how to install the exhibit. And as part of this exhibit, we're highlighting the importance of small towns and rural areas in pushing forward with innovation and creativity. So as part of that, on the kickoff on May 20th, we're hosting a maker fair. So we're going to be highlighting a lot of our local artisans and creators and just really focusing on what makes Alpena really cool. So we're doing that. We've got the state historian is coming up to do a presentation. We're having a ribbon cutting, and we're doing all sorts of different events throughout the summer that will be focused around the Places of Innovation exhibit. But it's super cool to be the first location in the country in having, you know, members from the Smithsonian Institute come up and show us how to do this thing, be here for our kickoff. And I'm super proud of my staff. Tina, Nancy, and Don have been working so diligently on this project. And they're also working on their own traveling exhibit that will highlight the different points of innovation that Alpena has developed throughout the years and the region. So right now, I believe Don is focusing on the logging era and then is going to move on to the Besser company. And it's really fascinating to watch all these varied ideas because, you know, he focuses on the history and Nancy and Tina focus on the technology and also the literature part of it. So it's it really brings in that whole STEAM element too, the science and the arts. So it's going to be great for all ages.
Wow, that's an incredible opportunity.
Yes.
So, you know, being the first in the country to be able to do something, how was that? How did that happen?
They put together a really good application and about how, you know, how important the library is as as kind of a cornerstone in the community to bring people together.
Wow, that's just an incredible opportunity for Northeastern Michigan. Wow, great job for you and your team.
Yes, I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
They're so great.
Well, that's about the end of our segment. Is there anything else that you have that you'd like to share?
I think just a reminder that, you know, we do have our new makerspace, our maker lab for community creativity and exploration. And every Tuesday we have that space open from 4 to 5:30 for people to poke their heads in, come in and play around with some stuff. We have digital animation, we've got the 3D printer. We're also doing a Glowforge workshop on April 29th.
Cool.
From noon until 4, and that will teach people how to use the laser cutter, and they can make their own designs and signage and things like that. So we're very excited to start rolling out more of these opportunities for the community.
Wow, thank you. I mean, it sounds like you're very busy.
We are, and then summer reading starts. So.
Absolutely, and then next time you're on, I definitely want to talk about the summer programs as well.
Awesome.
Because I know there's a lot of really cool collaborations that you do in the community. But thank you so much for being here today and talking about, you know, everything that's going on at the library. And thank you all for joining us today as we continue to go down the road of all the wonderful nonprofits and the nonprofit leaders that represent their organizations. Have a great day, enjoy the beautiful weather, and stay tuned for Don McMaster and the ACC segment after the break.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Director of Admissions at ACC, Mike Colleen.
Good to be here.
Yes, good to have you. And just before we get started, you know, I've mentioned this many times, but it deserves mention. You know, our enrollment figures were the best at any community college in the state by a substantial amount. And that is largely due to the leadership of Mr. Colleen and the people that work with him, Darren Leitner and our IT people and Sarah Burt and the whole team. But thank you for that. And we're here today, though, to talk about Signing Day, which is kind of a neat thing that we're doing with Joyce McCoy and APS.
Yeah, so it's something that Joyce McCoy, who's the CT director at Alpena Public Schools, and it runs a great program over there. People who haven't been over to see some of their facilities, they're outstanding.
Yep.
Their equipment, their technology, what they do is special for those kids. But there's an organization out there run by a local person that you know more about, Roger Tedeschi, if I'm saying his name right. There's this National Signing Day for CTE students. So students who are involved in a CTE program at Alpena High, like automotive, welding, their health occupations, and now they're going to come to Alpena Community College in a similar program, there's an idea of recognizing those students. And recognizing, like we so often recognize, like athletes. This past week we had a couple of student athletes from Gaylord coming to play volleyball, a young lady from Kalkaska for softball, and they get some press, and that's all exciting. You know, and we recognize our top 10% students a lot. But these students are hardworking students in a field that they have passion for, and they're continuing on, and this is going to be an opportunity to just sort of put the spotlight on them a little bit.
That is well said and very accurate. There's a lot in that. CTE stands for Career Tech Education. Yep. You're absolutely right that under Joyce's leadership, that's a statewide, you know, people respect what Joyce has done and over the years and what she's done recently statewide.
Right.
You know, she's accomplished a tremendous amount.
Right.
Those students are doing some really interesting projects. You and I were over there this week and we saw an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, Jason Lawyer, Zach Gruke, and their, I think it's their megatronics class and stuff like that. They got this electric vehicle, and they thought it was going to take them like a whole semester to put it together. And they did it in 4 weeks because they had students that were just engaged and wanting to do it. And, you know, I always say there's 3 ways to learn. Someone's going to tell you, someone's going to show you, and then you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
In CTE programs, you hit all 3. And so students get a chance to really learn because they talk about it, they show them, and then they let them go do it. And that's really how you learn out there. And that's a great way to do that. And then this event is going to just sort of, like I say, spotlight on them a little bit more.
Absolutely. And you've touched on such an important piece, is that not all students are great athletes or top 10 in grades, but to put that electric vehicle together, there's some hands-on insight and intuition and skill and passion. And you describe them working overtime, going faster. That's because they're enthused.
That's right.
They're doing something that they like to do rather than, in some cases, sitting in class studying history.
Right. And even a part of my new student orientations, I have a part where I talk about, why you're picking the classes you're going into. And typically it's because you have a passion, you have an ownership, you have an interest. And I always tell people, you're going to do better in college because you're taking classes that you are interested in. It's what you have a passion for.
Yes.
And you enjoy it. And so you're excited to be there. And that's what these students are going to do. They're going to come sign a letter of intent, more or less, with us on April 26th is going to be the day of that event. And it'll be neat. We've invited some the high school staff, our college folks will be there.
Give them a little swag.
A little bit of swag, have them sign a letter, and feed them some lunch, and just really make sure that they're welcome at ACC, and we're excited to have them, and we're excited they chose us as their next stop.
Yeah, that's a wonderful touch. Roger, referencing back to him, is a local guy he created an organization called NC3, and it's a national credentialing organization. Mm-hmm. So I think he started in the automotive sector. If you're watching this, Roger, I hope I got this right. And created these micro-credentials for students who could demonstrate to employers, I know how to do this particular thing, a competency.
Right.
And this is important to employers. They in many cases tell me and tell us that what the grade is less specific and meaningful than can they, operate a specific wrench to do a specific thing.
Well, and I talk about that all the time, that college is different for everybody. And we live in this certified credentialed society.
Yeah.
And everybody doesn't necessarily need a bachelor's degree, master's, or even a doctorate degree, which is valuable, and there's a lot of positions that need that. But to be honest with you, you need those employability skills and those certificates and credentials that you can get in welding, automotive, some of our computer-related areas, is exactly what these students are getting a taste for it at the high school. And they're going to continue at ACC. It's a great thing. It's a great partnership. We're excited. Joyce has got us involved, and it's going to be a good deal.
It is going to be a good deal. And we have about 2 minutes left. The importance of career tech education at ACC and its role in our kind of overall enrollment landscape. Could you speak to that?
Well, I mean, you started today's program talking about, and I know you've talked a lot about our overall enrollment this year has been very good, and our tech programs are healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You look at our utility tech line worker program, Tim Rotz in welding, Andrew Patton in the machining program, and those areas are getting an upgrade with some building renovations, which I think is just going to really put the spotlight on them because they're going to be top notch. Okay, they do great stuff now, but they're going to have the facilities and the equipment to really just enhance it even more. But absolutely, and there's a lot of local jobs. That's where there's students that honestly they want to stick around here. They love this is who they are. They like to hunt and fish and wear their camo or their Carhartt or their work boots, and they just want to work hard, and they live in northern Michigan, and these programs provide them those opportunities, oftentimes life-changing. Maybe they're first generational going to college still, and those credentials really can just make a huge impact on how successful they are in the rest of their life, and as I would say, be a valuable member of the community or society they live in, and we hope that's Alpena.
Yeah, well put, Mike, and I can see why under your leadership people are persuaded to come to ACC, we're looking forward to the signing day event, and thank you for all you do for these students and for ACC, and thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts Bradley Summers and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at WBKB11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production. All rights reserved.